This running back class is widely considered to be a weaker one in comparison to the past few seasons, but there still are some quality running backs who I think have some pretty solid potential to be good players at the NFL level. We have talked on a number of running backs already, but one guy that I have been pretty high on for a long time comes from my favorite college team, and that is Tennessee running back Jaylen Wright, a name who has been hovering for a while now as my running back 5, and today I'm going to be talking about why I think he is going to be a top 3 running back from the 2024 NFL Draft. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and let me know which players you guys would like to see me break down in a future video. And without further ado, let's take a closer look at Jaylen Wright. As a Tennessee fan, I have gotten the opportunity to see Jaylen Wright up close, and I think he is one of the most underappreciated backs in the entire draft class. In 2022, Wright finished with 875 yards and 10 touchdowns on the season. In terms of Wright as a receiving back, he didn't showcase too much, but he definitely showed some improvements in 2023. He finished the season with 1,013 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he added another 140 yards through the air as a receiver. He had one of the best draft combines for anyone at the running back position, and is a guy who a lot of people are starting to see as one of the top running backs in the class. The first thing that stands out to you about Wright is his game-changing speed. His top speed is incredibly impressive, and he shows the ability to just run by everyone. The game against Georgia, we got to see it on the very first play of the game, when he took the ball 80 yards to the house, and he just has an incredible top-end speed. He loves to get to the outside, and when he does reach his top speed, it's over. He ran one of the fastest times at the combine, running a 4.38 40-yard dash, and he is incredibly fast, which is obviously a big part of the running back position. Another thing that I enjoy about Wright's game is he is a patient runner. He waits for the holes to open up, and when they do, he has the quickness to cut back and hit that top speed. He is a patient runner, which once again is a great thing to see from running backs. Wright is a stronger runner and a stronger player than many people would think when you look at him. Despite looking small on the field, he showed on numerous occasions that he was a very good pass protector, and he showed the willingness to block. He is never going to be the guy who is just going to run you over, but he showed some elusiveness and the ability to stay on his feet through contact, and the ability to use his offhand to bat away defenders, which is another thing that I absolutely love to see from him. His blocking ability is going to be a major plus for teams, and I think it makes him a sought-after commodity at the position. One thing that makes Tennessee's offense so hard to scout, especially at the skill positions, is the way in which Heupel's offense functions. It is a very spread out unit, and the route tree that the receivers and running backs run is extremely limited. And that is the case here with Wright. Tennessee didn't really use him very much as a route runner out of the backfield. They used him on a lot of plays in the flat, maybe a short curl, but he was not a very experienced route runner as a running back. He has shown some solid hands and the ability to make good catches in space, but he still is very much a project in terms of his route running, which is something I would like to see improve. On top of that, Wright is not necessarily the strongest runner in the world. While he shows some flashes and he can stay on his feet through contact, it isn't consistent enough. Wright to me is more an outside zone runner, which is fine, and there's a place for that in the NFL. But he isn't a guy that I think is going to run up the middle with linebackers and defensive tackles and just be able to run anybody over. He is still a little bit small at the position, but when he does get out to the outside, I think that is where Wright is at his best and where he is going to be best utilized at the NFL level. Maybe I'm a homer, but I am a very big fan of Jaylen Wright. He has been a player I have been pretty high on for quite some time, and you can ask some of my closest peers. And I'm not backing down from my stance. After a strong combine performance, he shot up my board even higher than he already was. Jaylen Wright is my number 2 running back in the class. The route running issue could be something that scares teams away, but his patience and his speed are big selling points for me and something that I think NFL teams are going to love. Jaylen Wright is my number 66 overall player in the class. We just talked about it, but I love the idea of Wright as an outside zone runner. I think he can be an inside zone guy, but probably better in an outside zone scheme where he can have blockers in front and he doesn't necessarily have to run up the middle with linebackers trying to crash down and get him. When he gets to the outside, he can run by corners and safeties at a very high level, and I think that's where he's going to be best used at the NFL. My player comparison for Jaylen Wright is New York Jets running back Breece Hall. Hall has been absolutely dynamic for the Jets early on in his career, even after suffering an ACL tear. Jaylen Wright and Breece Hall tested nearly identical in every single category. They both have electric speed, are elusive in the open field, and have upside as receiving backs as well. I think that Wright could be an awesome back in the NFL. I think that him and Breece Hall are very similar prospects, so that's going to be my comparison for him. Jaylen Wright is rising up draft boards. He is fast, he is shifty, he can block, and he shows some serious potential to be a very solid running back in the NFL. I am a big fan of his, and ultimately, I believe Jaylen Wright will be a top 100 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.